Sawadee krap. My name is Imtiaz Muqbil. I am the executive editor of Travel Impact Newswire based in Bangkok. I began covering Thai travel and tourism in 1981. Over these last 40 years, I have seen the Thai, ASEAN and Asia Pacific tourism industry grow from virtually nothing to the colossus it was before the COVID-19 pandemic. Today, I am compiling my carefully preserved notes, reports, columns and research into an unmatched history of Asia Pacific tourism with a focus on learning the lessons, replicating the successes, and avoiding a repetition of the mistakes for the sake of future generations. In this video, made to commemorate the birth anniversary of His Majesty the late King Rama the Great, I will share a few thoughts on what I consider to be the biggest mistake made by Thai tourism, exploiting the marketing opportunities presented by the various royal events over the late King's 70-year reign, but paying little or no attention to his balanced nation-building advice. I call Thailand the greatest story in global tourism history. No other country has been hit by as many crises, both man-made and acts of God, as Thailand, and still been able to report record tourism arrivals. The post-COVID era, however, will be different. Facing intense competition and recurring internal and external shocks, Thailand may find the guidance of King Rama the Great a more reliable and trusted source of reference for converting this worst crisis ever into a historic long-term opportunity. Thailand's tourism brand image enjoys its supreme status today thanks largely to the marketing juggernauts built around two majestic royal birthday events. The original blockbuster, 1987 Visit Thailand year, marked the King's auspicious 5th cycle 60th birthday. 12 years later, Thailand celebrated the King's 6th cycle birthday, 72nd birthday in 1999 with the Amazing Thailand campaign. In 1996, Thailand marked the 50th anniversary of the King's ascension to the throne. 10 years later, in 2006, a 60th anniversary celebration was held. More than any other sector, it was tourism which benefited from royal celebrations. The Thai people took great pride in these displays of love and respect for their king, then the world's longest reigning monarch, and eagerly invited visitors to experience this passion. The royal events attracted hefty marketing budgets and facilitated policy changes to remove impediments, facilitate accessibility, build infrastructure, and add capacity. They also inspired a sense of unity and urgency to get things done, and done well. And they worked. Visit Thailand year 1987 saw visitor arrivals nearly double between 1986 to 1988. 12 years later, the Amazing Thailand campaign again took arrivals to just under 10 million in 1999, helping to offset the impact of the 1997 Asian economic crisis. All these campaigns cemented the Thai tourism brand image. They also had a ripple effect. 1987 Visit Thailand year spawned copycat years worldwide, including a regional Visit ASEAN year in 1992 to mark the 25th anniversary of the founding of ASEAN. The august presence of King Rama the Great was the most important driver. As a leader, the king also became the world's best domestic tourist. Apart from one brief cross-border visit to Lao PDR for the inauguration of the first Thai-Laos Friendship Bridge in April 1994, he never left the country after a final state visit to Canada in 1967. Instead, he traveled just about all over Thailand to promote sustainability, flood prevention, water conservation, poverty alleviation, and socio-cultural peace and harmony. Today, these have been given a fancy name, the UN Sustainable Development Goals. The king visited what was then known as the Tourism Organization of Thailand for the first and only time in February 1971. In his speech, did he mention tourism arrivals, creating jobs, or generating income? No. In less than 500 words, he simply recommended building a good global reputation for Thailand by highlighting its real assets: natural beauty, rich culture, well-mannered people, and way of life. If this can be done, he said, Thailand will enjoy good relations with foreigners, which in turn will help make it more safe and stable. The message was clear. Take care of the core Thai tourism assets, both hardware and software, and the reputation will take care of itself. Not brand, but reputation, character, and identity. Making that foresight even more remarkable was that the guidance was offered in a year when the TAT was only 11 years old. The king was only 43 years old, and Thailand received a mere 81,000 visitors. In all my years of covering Thai tourism, I have never heard the king's simple but insightful words quoted at public tourism events. They were only used in 2010 when the TAT was celebrating its 50th anniversary and issued a commemorative publication in which one page was devoted to a reminder about the king's 1971 visit. As it looks to build a new normal, the Thai travel and tourism industry will need both hindsight and foresight. Has it achieved a balanced scorecard, or has the marketing scorecard outstripped all others? An honest and objective analysis of whether tourism has developed in line with the king's guidance would yield some not so rosy results. Over the years, tourism helped Thailand gain millions of friends, created jobs, and alleviated poverty. But on the flip side, the gold rush led to multiple social, cultural, and environmental problems, including deforestation, land encroachment, and child prostitution. That is not what the king wanted to see happen. One tourism tagline is Discover Thainess, a reference to Thai identity, culture, cuisine, heritage, and traditions. But missing on the Thainess list is sufficiency economy, a holistic concept that the king promulgated after the crippling 1997 economic crisis. A perfect fit with the gross national happiness concept of the King of Bhutan, the sufficiency economy concept can revolutionize Thai and global travel and tourism industry in the new era. So far, Thai tourism, especially the private sector, has only paid that concept lip service. No measurement indicators exist to monitor the environmental impact of 40 million visitors, such as daily water consumption, food wastage, sewage and garbage output. No indicators exist to monitor the social, cultural, and health impacts of tourism, nor the economic leakage factor. Rectifying this imbalance is the primary future challenge facing the entire industry. Thanks to Thailand's tourism marketing genius, geographical location, and numerous other comparative advantages, tourism will eventually recover if the international situation remains stable. But the king has passed on. Times have changed. Royal celebrations are unlikely to carry the same weight as in the past. Indeed, addressing some of the underlying weaknesses, risks, and threats will be a lot more difficult in the current domestic, regional, and international operating environment. The government is facing some gargantuan tasks ahead. The private sector will need to match this with some regulation and self-enforcement, which it has never been good at doing. There is a real danger that things may just revert to the old normal, business as usual. In the years to come, Thailand will need to balance its development budgets between marketing and management, human resources development, environmental and cultural preservation, and law enforcement. It may have to totally redefine, rethink, and redesign the concept of Thainess in accordance with King Rama IX the Great's guidance. The age of Maipenrai, which means never mind, and Sanuk, which means fun, is over. The laid-back, laissez-faire attitude of the past is one aspect of Thainess that will have to change. As visitor flows resume, they have multiple destinations to choose from. Word-of-mouth marketing is a powerful force. As many brands are discovering, it does not take much to convert a good image into a bad one. The same passion and energy that went into past marketing campaigns will need to be harnessed to address the future management challenge. There is no need for fancy consultants, academic analysis, or ministerial directives. Framing the king's guidance on the walls of every travel and tourism location, office, and classroom would be a good start. Creating training programs, restructuring doing business systems, and launching communications campaigns would be an ideal way forward. Next year will mark the 35th anniversary since Visit Thailand Year 1987. It has been declared Visit Thailand Year 2022, exploring new chapters. But before exploring the amazing new chapters, it would be better for Thai tourism to revisit all the past chapters and ask itself, did it make sense to be blessed with a wise, trusted, benevolent leader and then ignore his guidance? Can we rise to the occasion, just as we did in 1987, and design a new global tourism Magna Carta based on the sufficiency economy? Having failed the king during his lifetime, can we try and honor his life and work after his death? I will leave you to ponder that. Next week's video will feature a more detailed SWOT analysis of Visit Thailand Year 2022. Meanwhile, if you found this video interesting and food for thought, please click like and subscribe to the Travel Impact Newswire channel. I welcome feedback. Sawadee Khap, and thank you very much indeed for listening.